I love Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is probably my favorite all-time comic book villain. He could be possibly my favorite comic book character if he wasn't a villain and if he wasn't written like shit over half the time. But when a writer writes Doctor Doom correctly and well, man, he's an amazing character. I just love Doctor Doom. It's no surprise, or it's not strange, that Darth Vader is such an analog and so similar to Doctor Doom, because all the qualities that make Vader who he is and why people love Darth Vader are in Doctor Doom. There's just something I think I might even like more about Doom than Vader. And let's get into it. Here's today's comic. Doctor Doom #1. Thanks for coming back to watch Ash on Comics. I'm Ash. And I took a little bit of time. Well, let's say I debated about buying this book. This was solicited really weirdly. I don't like, even though I love Doctor Doom, I don't like the villain as the hero type of thing. Now, Doctor Doom is the kind of character who can operate for the interest of others because he is the leader of his own country and he does care about the people of this country. And so it is possible to write a story where he's almost a hero, but ultimately he's a megalomaniac who is that stereotypical villain of just wants to conquer the world, right? So I wasn't sure. And then some people online told me, oh, you got to get it, Ash. Christopher Cantwell is a great writer, and he did this and that, and all this other stuff. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out. So I am. And here we are. Doctor Doom, born to a poor nomad and an ill-fated witch. Dr. Von... I can't even... Every time I try to read these things, I F it up. Take 2. Born to a poor nomad and an ill-fated witch, Victor Von Doom used his talent for combining sorcery and technology to take over the European country of Latveria, making him one of the most powerful people on the planet. Over the years, Doom has wielded his power for great good and great evil, leaving the people of Earth with one question to ponder and fear. What will Doctor Doom do next? I gotta take a little bit of exception to saying his, great, wield his power for great good. But whatever. We start off. Antlion Control Center. The station will remove CO2 emissions from the Earth's atmosphere, but at what rate? They're projecting a 35% reduction in the first year, and much of that will be converted into 5N purity hydrogen gel. But still, the waste generated will be 30 times as toxic as nuclear runoff. That's what the Antlion is for. A stable, perfectly controlled black hole waste depository on the moon. We're really doing it. We're creating a black hole on the moon. In just under 3 hours, yes. Particle collision, 2 hours, 48 minutes, 57 seconds. It's like something out of Starlog magazine. I'm a geek. What can I say? So, we've done it, Dr. Standrup. We've solved climate change? I avoid definite answers, but we should see a drop in global temperature very soon. Still, we just can't refreeze the glaciers. True. I got to this part of the book and I was like, oh, damn it. What am I doing? What am I doing? I bought the $10 variant cover issue of this book. I love Doctor Doom. What am I reading? This is when you hire someone who wants to write like Bendis but can't. And so they write even worse. But let's keep going. All right, I'm being a bummer. I'll leave that to our next guest. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Doom. You're very critical of the Antlion Project. Why is that? Because it will lead to the disaster of interstellar proportions. Everything has been safety tested. Yes, nothing will go wrong with a black hole on the moon. Besides that, this is cutting edge Richards and Stark tech. Richards is as sloppy as Stark is reckless. What exactly are you a doctor of? Many believe you're just upset that you were left out of the project. Steve, I will be allowed to speak. So it has to be a failure because you weren't involved. You interrupt me at your own peril, picnic ant. Farewell. That was Victor Von Doom, war criminal and tyrant, once defeated by Squirrel Girl. Back to the bigger picture. This is a wonderful day in history. Particle collision. 2 hours, 46 minutes, 14 seconds. We cut over to Latveria. Now, the second page gave me a little bit of hope. Because as crappy and cringy as it sounded, I was like, I like that Dr. Doom was just like, you're all a bunch of idiots. That's what I love about Dr. Doom. And I think he would probably even call the writer who's writing him an idiot. Then we cut over to Latveria, where he's, broadcasting. Excuse me, yawning in my own video. Jeez, that's unprofessional. And we see his little assistant. Master, may I remove your lav mic? Bow. Just punched. Jeez, Doctor, dude, come on, dude. This is one of your servants. So he's walking through the halls, talking to his people about the black hole generator thing, and then he calls upon Victorious, I guess this is his right-hand woman. Bring me the news. Man named Steve. It will be done, Your Excellency. So this is a funny part that comes later. Petra, how is your father? We see Dr. Doom at his castle. The art, looking a little weird there, Doom. Little effeminate pose. She responds, Laren cares for him, but his bedside, he's as stubborn as ever. Boris is a strong man. He'll beat the cancer, I am sure of it. Yes, our master, thank you. And so we see Doom has a little bit of compassion, I guess, for his people. He's just really hard. And he points to her and says, you must watch this. Up at the moon. And we see the black hole thing ignite. A black hole was just born. Do you think it will save the world? It will be a disaster of interstellar proportions. You have children? 2 girls, 1 boy. For their sake, I hope you're wrong. So that was interesting little page where obviously she's not going to say different than him, so she just kind of quotes him. But he shows, again, his little bit of compassion by admitting, essentially, saying, I hope you're wrong, which is in essence saying he hopes he's wrong, which contradicts the hubris of Doom. And so here we see Doom in his study. This really didn't need a full page spread of guys sitting at a desk. But I appreciate the artist really drew the hell out of the study. And then all of a sudden King shows up. Just appears out of random. To which Doom responds, I am growing tired of this, King. Where am I? Doomstadt, my private study. And so they have a little bit of banter here about what's going on, and Doom's talking about, what the Antlion. And again, it's just this whole thing about this project, creating a black hole in the moon. Sounds ridiculous. If you can get stuff to the moon to incinerate in a black hole, I'm thinking, why don't you just use our sun? Just all you have to do is just catapult stuff just towards the sun, and you didn't even have to be fast. Right? If you got waste, just shoot it towards the sun, and even if it's a mile per hour. It'll eventually get there. The gravity will pull it in, and it'll be away from Earth. I don't know why you need to create a black hole on the sun. And hopefully my phone isn't sitting here making noise on this on this video. God, I'm so professional. So Doom's going to sleep, and here's a bunch of singing going on, and we get to see the lighter side of Doom as he gets ready for bed and puts bandages on his face, apparently treating with some oil the scars on his face. They don't really talk about this, and I would have loved to have seen more about what's going on here and what Doom's actually doing. Maybe this was explored in some other book in the past 20 years that I haven't read, but I haven't read it if it has. And this is the kind of character development that I wish a writer would flesh Doom out more as a character. And then we see these two. I'm not really sure again who these two people are. Are they his children, his progeny? I believe they are, but you guys in the chat, put it down. I was absent from Marvel for 20 years, and it's not like they make a ton of Doom comics anyway, so I'm sure I'm missing stuff. I just like Dr. Doom. I don't know what the whole All in the Family business is. So we see Doom, and he's kind of, he's like, whatever about this family, and he walks through a door, and he's on the moon. And we see the sun looks like, I don't know, looks like the sun has become a black hole itself, which is crazy. First of all, I don't think our sun's big enough to become a black hole. And if it was, you wouldn't be able to stand on our moon and see it. Everything would be sucked in. But there doesn't seem to be any actual knowledge of science by the writer of this book. Apparently, you can just create this mumbo-jumbo Stark Reed magic technology, and then, oh, look, it's 20% of the CO2 from our climate. That would destroy the planet. 20. This climate change nonsense. So many people don't understand what the hell's going on. There is no proof of man-made effects on climate change. We can detect that the climate is changing. We can suspect and hypothesize that man is having an influence, but there is no proof. Okay, we're not going to... So, but of course, because we've got comic writers who are like, but I've been watching the CNN and they've been telling me, and I got to put the climate change. And okay, now Ash is a climate change denier. That's just what happened here. Weeks later, Dr. Doom's writing in his study again. Oh, joy. And he's talking to, I don't know, one of his assistants. It's Petra. Again, I'm not really sure the relation. Is Petra his daughter? Please, someone, if you guys know, please educate me. Breen, do you know? I need you. Eric Breen. And she's saying, like, the ministry is wanting to get a comment, da-da-da-da. And he says, am I at the right stuff? Oh, he says, I have nothing more to say on it. And she says, well, without your statement, they'll print that you were wrong. And he says, and how am I wrong, Petra? To which she's just like, please don't force choke me now. No, she's like, no, Lord, it's not you, but the press. 20% CO2 reduction since activation and a cooling of 0.35 degrees. That just wouldn't happen. Anyways, I have been overthrown, then welcomed back with the parade. My own robots rebelled. I dismantled them. You think I care for the opinions of invertebrate journalists? Speaking of which, good morning, Steve. Remember Steve? Oopsie daisy. This cracked me up. It's kind of silly, but Doom makes a threat. He carries out his threat. It's like, so he's all tied up. See that he is fed today. So she's like, so no statement to the press then? You're as audacious as your father. I'd have you shot if I didn't appreciate the candor. Tell them, just wait. It will all come crashing down soon enough. Which is foreshadowing to what happens next. So Dune's out in the pasture, meditating and levitating, because don't forget, Doom is a master sorcerer, not just a genius. And we can see father and son out here fishing, and it's like, I'm bored, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just whatever. I'm bored reading this. Doom's looking on, just kind of like, oh God, what's happening to my life? This was a kind of a cool panel. Just like, just kill everyone. It kind of makes me identify with Doom. Meanwhile, back at the Antlion Control Center on the dark side of the moon, we see some astronauts and whatever people on the dark side of the moon, moving CO2 waste. Again, I don't understand why you just can't inject this into space. But whatever. Let's see. So they're talking about, doing drop. It's like, that's because the trash can's got no bottom. Because, get it, it's a black hole. It's like, but space is infinite. So, again, anyways. Pretty cake gig, if you ask me. Living on the moon would not be a cake. Anyways. I'm going to hit the vending machines. Want anything? And then, ba-boom! Oh, sorry. Kraum, I think is how that goes. And we see, of course, as Cenk Unger would say. And then next thing, Dr. Doom's looking and he's seeing all these missiles launched from his country. And they go up and blow up the International Space Station. He's looking up in the sky. By the seven devils. 37 minutes later. Who gave the order to launch those missiles? Master? Who? We don't know. The silo's activated without warning. So Dr. Doom's trying to get to the, what's going on. They're talking about now all of a sudden, essentially every country on Earth's attacking them now, of course, because he's now become the next Osama bin Laden. Even 3,000 people died, just like 9/11, or roughly thereabouts. Obviously, it's not the exact number. And then we can see here, there's some terrorists on the moon, and they're waving the Latvian flag. And this is obviously a false flag event. It's obvious. I kind of appreciated that, because I didn't expect a progressive writer at Marvel to write a story from this angle, where Doom is framed, right? This kind of comes from the angle. It's like there's a little bit of an analog to the Osama bin Laden, I just said, and some people believe that Osama bin Laden was a patsy, that he was just blamed, that 9/11 was an inside job, and so forth, and we just picked Osama bin Laden because he was the world's biggest terrorist or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but it was him. So the whole world could be like, yeah, get him. I'm not going to get into that. You probably have your own opinions. But then I'm seeing this happen, and this is clear. I mean, we as the audience can be reasonably certain that Doom had nothing to do with this. He's being set up. And it's just very interesting that you would write, analogies or, things that are similar to real world events, but take from this side of the perspective. And then we see what's her name, Victorious, saying the U.S. has authorized unilateral action. NATO units within Romania and Hungary have also been mobilized. To Doom says, I need to speak with them. Who? Presidents, prime ministers, dictators, any fucking ruler. That doesn't sound like what Doom would say. He's kind of panicky. Doom doesn't really panic. And so this was like bothering me. This doesn't feel like Doom's character. Doom's always in control. He always exerts that. This is the guy that fought Thanos when Thanos had the Infinity Gauntlet, and he never panicked. He's fought the Beyonder. He's not afraid. And then we get this doofus here pointing at the map, like, oh, look, there's missiles, Master, missiles are coming. The Doom says, have the defense system intercept The defense system is offline. We've lost munitions and there's will be an air okay. To which Doom's like, surrender. Surrender. Full surrender. Unconditional. Master, now. And again, this goes back to the compassion that Doom has. I don't think Doom is afraid of facing his enemies, but he doesn't want his people to die. And they talk about the city of Plaxvik has been hit, population 65,000. So already civilians are dying because of this. And so Doom realizes the only way to stop this, to stop his people dying, is to surrender. Which I appreciated that writing. And he'll take this on his own. And he tells Zora, I guess her name's Zora, not Victorious. I'm confused by all this new modern Doom stuff. He says, listen to me. I will be arrested within the next hour. You will step in as Latveria's regent, then cede full military control to NATO. But I can't. You will, Zora. You wanted to be this country's hero. Be it now. I'll do as you ask, but will you tell me the truth? Is this your doing? How dare you, Zora? How dare you? And then next we see Doom on his castle, 2 hours after the disaster. Too far gone for saving. And then some would-be heroes jump in to try to take Doom down. You evil fuck. I'm assuming that's what it is. All this cursing that the Marvel these guys want to put in their comics. So Union Jack is, I don't understand. These guys would be Doom fought the event. They're pissants, really. But Dr. Doom kind of makes short work of them. They get a couple hits in. There's another guy, some mercenary guy steps in, shoots Doom, and Doom starts using a sorcery. And, this is his equivalent of the Force choke. I just love this. Just like, he's like, cease now. And they just won't give up. You first. Again, more cursing. I'm assuming it's shit. Armor. Yeah, Doom has armor. You didn't know? There's no fighting. Doom's just, again, just making mincemeat out of him, which is good. That's how Doom should be. And these guys are nobodies anyway. He tries to inform them that he intends to surrender. Here's a bunch of helicopters. These, I forget what these are called. These are not U.S. helicopters. These are not NATO helicopters. These are Russian helicopters. Not sure why they're there, but whatever. I guess that's what came up in the Google search. When you had to trace them. Utopias can be a bit boring, can't they? The world is not mine. To be continued. I think I missed something here. There was another part. Oh yeah, here we go. The utopias can be a bit boring. That's what happens when I'm zoomed in. This appears to be himself, I'm guessing. Sorry for the motorcycle. And now there's an ice cream truck outside. I just love this video, huh? Are you bored, Victor? With peace, never. But what's left? Food for all. Ocean health, planetary colonization. Slow down, Dr. Doom. Leave the room for the rest of us. The world is not mine. So it's an interesting setup. I'm not sure if I'm going to get issue number 2, though. That's pretty cool. What do you think after what you've seen? Have you read the book? Did you follow through my rambling on this? It's okay. It's not overtly political or progressive, trying to push, social politics. It kind of skirts around the surface, but I found it interesting that, normally you'd have the protagonist of the book being the one to kind of push those issues, not be against those issues. So that's kind of what kept me clued in is, it's not like Doom's running around just being like, you fools, the earth, I'm predicting global warming and you don't listen to me, and you're just like, oh, great. So that was kind of cool. I don't know. I wanted to like this book so much more. I love Dr. Doom. This is just a mediocre attempt. I don't see why this book was greenlit. Marvel has way too many books. And I can't afford to get the ones I like. There's coming 10 X-Men books coming out. 10 after all the waves, and that's just the ones we've heard of. And now I'm supposed to buy this book. I don't know. Again, tell me what you think. I'd love to hear. Like, subscribe, share, give me feedback. Do what you do. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.